Republic is established before Pakistan. The Islamic Republic of Pakistan was established in 1947. The Chinese Republic was established in 1949. However, East Turkestan Republic was established before Pakistan and China. Unfortunately, Pakistan is standing with China. Pakistan is cooperating with China and denying the existence of Uyghurs and East Turkestan. They speak out for the rights of all Muslims around the world, but they are stay silent about the ongoing genocide in occupied East Turkestan. This is the hypocrisy on behalf of the Pakistan government. It is an indication that Pakistan is under the influence of Chinese regime. Pakistan's behavior towards the oppression of Uyghurs in East Turkestan doesn't match the teachings of Islam, as well as the title of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan.
Thank you, Brother Abdullah. I would like to ask you about also about the attitude of the OIC, the International Islamic Organization, as well as the Arab League. What do you think about the Gulf states, the Arab Leagues, and the OIC's attitude towards the Uyghur genocide?
The main reason is to follow China's money, not follow the Islamic rules. In March 2019 resolution, the OIC means International Islamic Organization, said that it commends the efforts of People's Republic of China in providing care to its Muslim citizens after a delegation visited. This is the state from OIC. Actually, OIC is an international big organization. It includes Arab League and Islamic countries and Turkish countries. It's not, they are not following the Islamic rules, because the Islamic rule, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in Surah An-Nisa, verse 140, Allah says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَقَدْ نَزَّلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الْكِتَابِ أَنْ إِذَا سَمِعْتُمْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ يُكْفَرُ بِهَا وَيُسْتَهْزَأُ بِهَا فَلَا تَقْعُدُوا مَعَهُمْ حَتَّى يَخُوضُوا فِي حَدِيثٍ غَيْرِهِ إِنَّكُمْ إِذًا مِثْلُهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ جَامِعُ الْمُنَافِقِينَ وَالْكَافِرِينَ فِي جَهَنَّمَ جَمِيعًا. This ayah clearly indicates that they are doing against Islam. Allah says in this ayah, it has already come down to you in the book, Al-Quran, that when you hear the verses of Allah recited, they are denied by them and ridiculed. So don't sit with them. Allah says, don't sit with them until they enter in another conversation, another topic. Indeed, you would then be like them. Indeed, Allah will gather the hypocrites and disbelievers in hellfire altogether. Verses of Allah has been denied and ridiculed by China in East Turkestan since 1949. On top of that, China has been committing genocide against Muslims in East Turkestan. China's media has been announcing that Islam is an ideological poison. Any other country didn't say that. Only China, China's media, China's government saying that, has been announcing that Islam is an ideological poison. China is killing Muslims because they believe in Allah. China killing Muslim babies by abortions. millions of babies by abortions. China is burning holy Quran and holy books on the street in front of the eyes of the people, destroying thousands of masajid, banning, prohibiting to worship to Allah, banning Islamic names. Even you cannot give your babies Islamic names, banning Islamic cultures. China is sterilizing Muslim women by force. China is committing all kinds of oppressions, repressions, and all kinds of crimes against Islam, against Muslims, and against Allah. But Muslim world is cooperating with China against Uyghur Muslims and against humanity. Muslim world is sharing the genocide with China. Muslim world is following China to make money. They are not following Islam. That's why Allah called and named them hypocrites and disbelievers in this ayah and threatened them by hellfire. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, is a big organization, including Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Arab League. This organization was established to solve the problems in Muslim countries. The organization and those countries are claiming they are leading the Muslim world. Unfortunately, they are leading the Muslim world to follow China because China is giving them money. China is giving loans to the governments and giving bribes to the leaders and powerful individuals. That's why Muslim leaders are selling East Turkestan and supporting China. For example, East Turkestan and Kashmir are neighbors, and they are Muslim. Both of them are Muslim. Pakistan and Turkey are speaking out about Kashmir, but they are silent about East Turkestan under the Chinese genocide. China is committing genocide against Muslims in occupied East Turkestan. This is the double standard. This is the hypocrisy. When you look at East Turkestan, China is committing genocide against Uyghur, but the reality is China is committing genocide against the humanity, all mankind. China is killing humanity. China is killing the people of the world with two poisons. China has two poisons. One is Chinese money. The other is Chinese vaccine. I'm not talking about vaccine today here. Anyone who is exposed to one of these two poisons will not be cured and will definitely become mankut. Mankut means, in our language, brainwashed. I couldn't find proper word for the mankut. Only I can explain mankut means brainwashed. Anybody touch Chinese money or Chinese vaccine, he or she will be brainwashed. The reason is China is making illegal money, right? For example, China usurps and robs money from East Turkestan. China has occupied East Turkestan in 1949. Since then, China has been stealing all the underground and above ground riches and wealth in East Turkestan. China is also usurping and robbing the assets of the people of East Turkestan. China forces the people of East Turkestan to work as slaves without salary, produces goods and sells them to the whole world, and gets rich by making unfair profits. China shuts healthy people in East Turkestan in concentration camps and prisons, and sells their organs to Muslim world as halal organ. Could you imagine? China kills East Turkestan Muslims and take out their organs and sells them as halal organ to Muslim world. Under the so-called war against terrorism, China keeps the owners of East Turkestan in prison and camps. All people, rich people, poor people, knowledgeable people, and all kind of people, China, anybody who is healthy, anybody who is strong, China puts them in concentration camps and prison, which are like organ warehouse. Do you know warehouse? Put them in concentration camp and prison, keeps them as a warehouse. Anybody asks China any organ, China immediately supplies those who need organs with fresh organs. Why? Those East Turkestani Muslims are ready, are waiting in the prison and concentration camps. Chinese money means money of sold lives of the people of East Turkestan. The money of their blood, the money of their organs. Chinese money means stolen and usurped money of the peoples of East Turkestan. Chinese money means the usurped rights, wages, and salaries of the slave Turks in East Turkestan. In this respect, Chinese money means right of slave laborers, the right of oppressed innocent people, the right of orphans, the right of captive people, the right of siblings. Chinese money means the money for the organs of the captured brothers and sisters that were plucked and sold. That's why Chinese money is poison and haram itself. It's poison itself. So anybody gets this money, this poison money, it will be brainwashed. Any Chinese money obtained for the price of selling East Turkestan for their own benefit is poison and fire of the hell. Any person or state or country that is infected with such a poisoned money will not prosper. They will be poisoned and eventually become mankut, brainwashed. To become a mankut means to become alienated from one's own roots, to be a traitor who serves the enemy, not his own roots. That's why anybody or any country gets money from China, working for China against Muslims, even though they have the name of Islamic states. The main reason is this brother.
This was a compassionate speech, Brother Abdullah, and we are touched all by the suffering of the Uyghur people of East Turkestan. Actually, you covered all the questions that I wanted to ask you. So by that, I would like to thank you very much. And I want to move to our next panelist, Mr. Muhammad Iqbal Hassan, or I should say Dr. Muhammad Iqbal Hassan, who is the chairman of Faculty of Law in the University of Information and Technology and Science in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Welcome, Dr. Iqbal. And I would like to start by asking you about why do you think this silence about the Uyghur crisis? Why do you see people are not talking about the atrocities committed against them?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hassan Al Mustafa, and also I want to thank the organization which organized this webinar on a sensitive and very much important and sentimental international issue, what is going on in Xinjiang, China. And I'm grateful that you invited me on this auspicious occasion. And you asked me that the silence of the world community or the people upon the atrocities going on in Uyghur Muslims in China. Well, actually, in a sense, if we say that the world community is totally silent, so we should not agree fully in this proposition, because we see a lot of reaction and response. Although this is not expected and positive response to these atrocities and the occurrences which are going on in the Uyghur community in China. If we see to the international or world reaction regarding any matter, we see that a lot of reasons, a lot of causes are working here. Some points are very much clear from my previous panelist, brother Mr. Abdul Ahad. There are reasons, it may be political, international or geopolitical reasons. Behind the reaction or behind the silence, there are economic and military causes. And moreover, silence and reaction vary depending on the diplomatic relations, interstate relations. And more importantly, sometimes it also happened that which state is powerful state, which is less powerful, which is developed, which is developing, who is my neighbor, who is my friend, who is my enemy. Depending on the lot of diplomatic matters, a state react or respond to the issues occurring in another state. So in case of Uyghur Muslims, what I have known already, and through my some queries and investigation, what I see that it is really not a very unfortunate, and this is very much shameful for the total global community and the humanity at large, that such kind of multi-dimensional atrocities are going on in a small portion of the humanity in China. But how can we remain silent on this happening? For that reason, of course, as a human being, as a global citizen, I feel ashamed that world community is not responding in expected way to the cause of the Uyghur Muslims or Uyghur community in China. And more specifically, if we see that the atrocities China is not a new phenomenon. The atrocity strictly have been going on. And more importantly, after 2014, when Mr. Jing has come to power, we see that it has been more aggressive, the atrocities has been increased, and very recently we see that unprecedented torture and atrocities are going on in Uyghur Muslims in China. In this case, if we see the specific reason, specific causes behind the silence of world community, some points have been covered by Brother Abdullah that China's international clout through various techniques. For example, if you see to my country, economic relation between China and Bangladesh is about $10 billion per year. And we have a historical diplomatic relationship with China. And more importantly, China is the development partner of our country. We are doing a lot of bilateral activities, trade and commerce, and more importantly, and politically and diplomatically, China is the very much important partner of Bangladesh. In that case, for smooth advancement of our country, our sovereignty, our national development, we have a good relationship and diplomatic relation with China. At the same time, we see that the real scenario of the Uyghur Muslim, what is happening there is not perfectly, peacefully clear to the world community, because we see that the self-censorship of media in China, state is trying to restrict and control the media, what we see about the China. And we see that China is trying to refrain from journalists and human rights group to enter and to fact find, to investigate the real occurrences of Uyghur Muslims. And next, if we see that there is some propaganda from China government regarding Uyghur causes. That they are, for example, they are propagating that we are trying to make this land a wonderful land. There is a video. There is a video and some propaganda in recent time that a wonderful land. They are trying to make the Xinjiang a wonderful land. In the name of the re-education, de-radicalization, or vocational training, they established camp. But very interestingly, the Chinese government earlier time denied the fact of the intermittent camp, that is detention center. But whenever the fact is disclosed to the world community, then they are excusing, they are showing the propaganda that they are trying to de-radicalize, they are trying to nationalize, they are trying to give vocational training to the backward sections of the Uyghur people. And we see that there is a point of assimilation too, that in the concept of nationalization, Chinese government is trying to assimilate the Muslim peoples. And if we see that there is also a rhetoric which is globally propagated by Western country also, that terrorism or Islamic terrorism. So this technique, this propaganda is also resorted by Chinese government, that Islamophobia in China, beyond China, that we are trying to prevent, they are trying to struggle against Islamic terrorists. So such type of lot of propaganda is going on through the Chinese government. And more interestingly, Facebook, Twitter, social media, they are also using these social media to propagate the occurrences or atrocities of China in a positive way. But the national sovereignty, national security, and struggle against terrorism. In this way, Chinese government is investing huge amount of money. They are investing a lot of effort to propagate, to cover up these atrocities. So against this propaganda, so there is no strong reaction, strong propaganda to challenge it. So this is very much unfortunate. So until and unless the occurrences, the atrocities, the torture, and the detention, forced labor, enslavement, uh, jail only for faith, or preventing birth, or mosque destruction, sterilization, sexual violence, cultural and um, religious erasure, mass surveillance, family separation, and forced disappearance. A lot of atrocities are going on in China. But if these are not clearly evident to the world community, the state and the government, democratic state or international organization cannot strongly stand against these atrocities. So I think these are the reasons that China is trying to tackle, China is trying to cover, China is trying to propagate against these atrocities. So finally, I want to say that uh, even in this fact also, in this given scenario, some countries are reacting. Although Mr. Abdul Ahad brother said that a lot of Muslim countries are silent, YC is not playing role, expected role regarding a Muslim community being a Islamic, being an organization of Islamic Ummah. More importantly, Muslim country in Middle East, even Pakistan is not playing important or expected role. But conversely, we see that in this year, in January and February, United States and the State Department of US and Canadian and Dutch Parliament passed resolution that genocide and crime against humanity are occurring on Uyghur Muslim in China. And Amnesty International condemned and expressed concern. And they also said that we found crime against humanity in China. And a lot of human rights, it's part of United Nations Human Rights Office of Human Rights Commissioner also expressed their concern that there is genocide and crime against humanity are occurring in China. Instead of and despite various types of techniques adopted by the Chinese government, a lot of facts are going, a lot of atrocities have become disclosed to the world community through various techniques. So human rights groups and various international organizations express these concern, and absolutely genocide is going on in Uyghur Muslim. I think these narratives, this reality, these facts have to be upheld before the world community properly, more sophisticated way. And I think in this way, if we can convince to the world community, we can disclose properly the facts of the Uyghur Muslim to the world community properly, United Nations and international organization. I believe that the propaganda of China will fail.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Iqbal. And I would like to pick up actually from where I am leaving the matter with you about the attitude of the international community and Europe, especially with our next panelist, Mrs. Rania Madi. Mrs. Rania is a Palestinian human rights activist and a journalist who is based in Geneva. And I was looking at a lot of her impressive work regarding the Palestinian cause and the right to return. And I would like to welcome her warmly and ask her about what she thinks about the standards of the European community, the Western people on the Uyghur crisis. Don't you think that there is another type of double standards that the West actually deals with this matter, just like any other matter they deal with us in?
Your mic is muted, Rania.
I think your computer is muted, Mrs. Rania. We cannot hear you.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, now it's much better. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'm sorry. I'm very honored really to be among this panel, and I'm very happy to address to you from Geneva. But just a small correction, I'm not a journalist, I'm a lawyer, and this is why I work with the Human Rights Council. It's okay. In fact, your question, because I don't have to repeat what have been said, in 2019, I was among people, I mean, we were very engaged, involved in this issue, you know, against the atrocities of what's happened there for the population. And we didn't say Muslim, we say the minority, in fact, and I will tell you later why. I'm a Muslim, I'm not ashamed for that, no, but I will tell you why. In fact, we forced 22 European countries to sign a letter, and I was the one who really, let's say, worked with the Swiss government. They respect me, they like me. I'm involved in many local issues and international issues. So they signed a letter with, I will tell you the names, and really exactly, Germany, France, Switzerland, Britain, Japan, Canada, and some other, you know, European from East Europe countries. They sign a letter and we send it to the Human Rights Council. But I will tell you, during the session of the Human Rights Council, which was the second one of the 2019, can you imagine that 37 other countries, most of them are Muslim, you know, they sign against this letter in which they support China, because for them, China developed many methods when it comes to human rights. And I will give you the names of the other. Korea, Russia, Philippines, Cuba, but also Saudi Arabia, Algeria, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Syria, Oman, Kuwait, Sudan, Bahrain. Can you imagine all these countries, they defend China. So I'm sorry to tell you that we should not depend of the Muslim countries. I'm sorry, I'm a Palestinian, and you know, my country occupied since 73 years. And honestly, our problems comes more from Muslim countries. And I think you notice what's happened. And we raised this issue, they totally agree with us. But the problem of the other countries who are defending or supporting China. So I should give solution, because this is not enough. In fact, what I noticed, because I follow all the Human Rights Council yearly, the 3 of them, not because I believe of the UN that justice will come from the UN. No, I know it's colonialist countries. They are the one who set the principles of human rights. But since I'm not a fighter now, I used to be a fighter with the Palestinian in Lebanon. Since I'm not a fighter anymore, so I have to use another fight. And my fight is Colonials after, you know, the colonialists, after the atrocities of the war, the First and Second World War. So I learned their language, the language of law. Of course, I speak languages in order to fight inside this institution. So in fact, what I noticed when I said I didn't say Muslim, I say the Uyghur. What I noticed that unfortunately there is a forum of minority, and we never see anybody from these people, from the Muslim of China. There is the forum of people who have been, let's say, discriminated because of their religion. We never see somebody from there as well. So in fact, it should be, there is some work should be done with the community, with the representative. Even we should help them to build, you know, some educated people. They are the one who should lead, or they should bring the issue of their population and bring it more internationally. Because the media, they wrote about it, you know, they wrote, really, I live in Europe, I speak 5 languages, you know, Spanish, German, French, English, etc. The question is not languages, but the media are not covering a lot. Why? Because the people, they don't have a representative. And we all know since the arrival of Chin Chuango in 2016, it's became like his own important issue. It's to discriminate the people. And honestly speaking, this year in March, during the Human Rights Council in the 29, the special rapporteur for business and human rights, he brings the issue of Uyghur because, you know, they are discriminated, they are forced to work, and as well, the special rapporteur of minorities, he brings the issue. You can go to the link of the UN, and if really you want, I can send it to you. You know, I can find it because I attend the session from A to Z. And I was happy that 3 special rapporteurs, they bring this issue, which is very important, but this is not enough. First of all, we should lobby, and I'm sorry to say, not the European countries, the Christian countries. We should lobby the Arab, the Muslim countries, you know, but unfortunately, we all know that it's political issue more than legal issue, but it doesn't mean to keep our voices silent. This is why we have to use all methods. So I don't know if I was able to answer your question or not. Otherwise, I will speak until tomorrow morning.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Raine. Actually, thank you for the valuable insights. And I think this is well informative about the human rights aspects.
Just before I finish, I'm ready to help to train some, let's say, educated of people who have basics of education online in order to know how to fight these atrocities and to bring their voices to the highest level. You said genocide. Why we didn't see any case in the ICC, in the International Criminal Court? How it comes that I went there in 2016 after the war in Gaza. So this is what I mean. We have to help the people to elect or to select some really educated people to be informed, and they are the one who should lead, to inform all these Europeans or Americans, etc. And I'm sure one day I would love to see somebody, and I'm ready to go to the European Union to organize a panel inside the EU to bring this issue and to keep their voices loud. Sorry, that's it.
Well, thank you again very much. And I think that this is an opportunity for you to communicate with Mr. Abdullah Hatnoor. I think he can find you the activists and the people who are willing to be accepting the idea and going through the training.
Yeah.
And thank you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
And I would like to.
May I interfere one point here? May I interfere one point here? As far as I know that, already International Criminal Court is informed about the atrocities of Uyghur. May I ask our brother Abdullah that International Criminal Court already received one complaint regarding Uyghur genocide, but the court stated that the evidences are not enough. So the file is open. We are waiting. If you can provide enough evidences, we can proceed on. Is it true, or do you have any information regarding this matter, regarding the International Criminal Court?
Yes, actually on 6th of July last year,
Exactly.
we sent a complaint to ICC, International Criminal Court, as East Turkestan government in exile.
Exactly.
And I'm aware of that. We did that. And then ICC respond that we believe that there is a genocide in occupied East Turkestan. We believe that, but there is no enough evidence to connect with China, because China is not member of ICC. In this case, we have to find some way and then some evidence related to China. And then the lawyer is the same lawyer of Rohingya Muslims. That lawyer is from England. His name is Rodney Dixon. Actually, this case is still open in ICC. We are still collecting evidence. So it's continue.
very unfortunately, not only China, but also US is not signatory to the International Criminal Court. So developed countries raising their voice against human rights violation and genocide, crime against humanity, but they are not party to the court who is going to or who is responsible for ensuring global justice in the world, bringing to the trial those culprits or perpetrators behind violation of human rights and genocide. Already what is going on also in Palestine, our
Inshallah, I hope this constructive conversation would lead to something practical regarding the International Criminal Court, inshallah. And I would love to have our final panelist, Mr. Uthman Muhyiddin Noorani, if I spell the name correctly, from our dearest Pakistan. He is the central president of the Anjuman Talba Islam. And I would like to welcome him and ask him about the attitude of the Pakistan and the people of Pakistan. My question would be, do you think that Pakistan and the people of Pakistan are silent against what's happening to the Uyghurs? And what's your comment about the idea?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Salatu wassalamu alayka ya Sayyidi ya Rasulullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Sayyidi ya Habibullah. Thank you very much, Hassan al-Mustafa. Yes, unfortunately, but we are not silent on Uyghur issue. In past, our organization, Anjuman Talba Islam and Civil Society of Pakistan, organized several demonstrations against the Chinese atrocides on Uyghur community. But as you know that
The voice is unclear for me. I don't know if for the others.
I can hear, but voice is not loud enough, but I can hear.
Okay.
I am dealing with my speakers are lower than expected, but this time is the lowest, I think, with Mr. Usman.
Okay, I will try to speak loud.
Yeah, I think better now.
Okay. Our organization, Anjuman Talba Islam and Civil Society of Pakistan, organized several demonstrations against the Chinese atrocides on Uyghur community. But as you know, that we have very strategic relationship with China, and China made huge investment in our country. So I think our government are trying to balance the issue. But as far as civil society is concerned, they are against the Chinese policies towards the people of Eastern Turkestan. We oppose the ethnic cleansing of Uyghur community. Thank you very much.
So, okay, thank you very much, Mr. Uthman. And with this, I would like to, I think if there are no more comments from the panelists, I would like to conclude.
So I think